Okay, we're continuing over here with the Mishnayos. We're still in Perek Vav Mishnah Aleph. Where the Mishnah over here is telling us over here all the Gavaldic miles of a person that is learning Torah Lishma. And some of the miles that we said until now were as follows. Of course, Mesamech Hasamokah, Mesamech Hasapes, we did that. We're up to the following. Umelabshtoi Anova V'yira. That means the Torah is what clothes a person in humility. A person becomes a person that's an onov. We've said many times, for a person to be an onov doesn't mean, and somebody actually translated it to me today, it means to think lowly of yourself. Chas v'sholom. It does not mean to think lowly of yourself. It means to know your worth, but to understand and to be humble, to recognize where everything comes from. And that is the Rabboni Shalom. And therefore, a person that is be'emes learning Torah, really lishma, he is an onov. Umelabshtoi anova v'yira. It makes him a person that's full of humility and yira, right? A fear, a certain amount of yira shamayim, and umachshartoi liyos tzaddik. Now that's very interesting, right? Umachshartoi liyos tzaddik means it makes him fit to be a tzaddik, not the mitzvah itself, the hersha mitzvah. That means the Mishnah is telling us that when you learn Torah, it does not make you into a tzaddik, but it rather gives you the ability, it gives you the preparation to become a tzaddik. And that's what it is. And that's a gewaldige thing, because a tzaddik always recognizes that his mission is never complete. There's always more to go to. The goal always seems to get further and further. A person jumps into the sea because he thinks, let me get to that thing. The deeper he gets into the ocean, the more he realizes he's further away from it, right? And therefore a real Talmid Chacham, a real tzaddik, has the ability to do that. And that's why it's important for a person to realize every day that we need to progress in our Avodas Hashem. And it continues to say, the Mishnah, it makes him into a tzaddik, Chosid Yasha V'Ne'emon. So it says it makes him fit, Roy, to be a tzaddik, a chosid, a yashar, and a ne'emon. Which of course the Mishnah over here is describing to us 4 different qualities of people who are on different levels. They're not all on the same level in that case. It's interesting, by the way, if you ever noticed it, that the Chofetz Chaim was known as a tzaddik, right? Even though he knew Kol HaTorah Kula. And you look at the Mishnah Berurah, you see clearly that he knew Kol HaTorah Kula, right? But he's known as a tzaddik. Whereas you can have someone that's known as a gadol, a Talmid Chacham, but he can also be a tzaddik. But what someone is known for is often very much the main quality of who he is. And the Mishnah over here is telling us that when a person learns Torah lishma, and he's learning it properly, he becomes roy. He does not become. He becomes roy to be a chosid, a tzaddik, a yasha, and a ne'emon, which is also important as well. It also makes the person very distant from Averas. That means that the more a person is learning Torah Lishma, the further and more distant he is from doing Averas. Now that's an important thing, maybe we should spend on this to understand what that means. That when a person is learning Torah Lishma, what's happening is people enjoy his messages, people enjoy his eitzes, people enjoy his understanding, people enjoy his strength. That means at the end of the day, when a person learns Torah, he's granted a certain wisdom that is not granted to anybody else, and people enjoy it, right? We know from the Chazon Ish, the Chazon Ish was able to answer shilas about real medical shilas, having never opened up a biology book, only because he knew Torah. When a person knows Torah, and again, has to be Lishma. Learning Torah, by the way, is not the automatic just way in. It has to be Lishma. When a person is learning Lishma, that's when he gets in. Reb Chaim Volozhin says on this Mishnah, in the Ruach Chaim, he says the following. He says, every suffix that a person ever has in his world, right? For any of you that are familiar with the Hagdama to Tanya, if you're not, make sure you should be. The Hagdama to Tanya says that the reason why the Baal Tanya wrote the Tanya, or Likutei Murim, whatever that actual real name is because he wasn't able to spend time with the Hasidim, but everybody came in with shaylas. So what is he meant to do? So he wrote, basically, and he writes this clearly in the Hagdama, every answer to every question you will ever want in your life is in the Sefer Tanya. And if you don't know how to figure out the answer, go figure out and go ask a Rav how to explain it to you. But every answer you'll ever want is in there, which means you have a chidus with the Rebbe, with the Baal Tanya, when you learn Tanya. and you're gaining every single thing. So Reb Chaim Volozhin in the Ruach Chaim on this Mishnah says that every suffix that a Yid has in life, he doesn't know what to do, where to turn, what the situation should be. And by the way, this does not only mean in Ruchnis, this also means in Gashmias. Okay? People don't realize that when it comes to Gedolim, they have Siyata D'Shmaya, Das Torah, Siyata D'Shmaya. For example, the Biala Rebbe, Schus and Yugen Alayni, that was just nifta just over a week ago, somebody told me that Ritzi Zilberg, Shlita, used to go to Biala Rebbe and ask him every one of his business shilas. Now, I don't know what business shilas, money, this, that, and the other. I'm sure it wasn't anything crazy. But whatever it was, he went to Biala Rebbe, who understood, and he gave eitzes. Now, why are you going to him? Go to a business expert. What are you going to a Rebbe for? What does a Rebbe know? He's sitting and he's learning. Teretz is, says Reb Chaim Volozhin, everything is found in the Torah, but on a person that learns Lishma. It's a very, very important thing, and that's what the Mishnah is telling us, that when a person learns Lishma, what happens is that people enjoy his advice, people enjoy what he has to say, because he's learning Lishma. There's a certain siyat Lishma that a person has to realize. And therefore, that is a very important chedek of what we're saying. We're going to try, Be'ez Hashem, to try and finish off the Mishnah Be'ez Hashem tomorrow.